Hey, how's it going, everybody? All right, so this video is a little different than usual because what I'm technically doing in this video is I am testing my own gear. I just recently received the NT5, the Rode NTG5, their short shotgun microphone. That is directly boomed directly above me, probably about 12 inches or so away from my mouth, and then also recording at the same time is my SE7 from SE Electronics. I made a prior video about selecting the best onboard camera mic for documentary filmmaking use. And I basically made the case that a small diaphragm condenser microphone with a cardioid polar pattern might actually be a better choice than the conventional default to a shotgun microphone. So now that I've been rocking with the SE7 as my on-camera mic, I've encountered too many situations where the SE7 was not the best choice for an interview microphone as well. And this is specifically when I'm in an environment where I need to isolate the voice of the subject. So what happened was I was recording a series of interviews where they were very similar to the aesthetic that this is, where I have just a background, just a blank color backdrop in the background, and I let that just kind of fall to black. And when you have them mic'd with a cardioid mic, it actually was an inappropriate mic choice because that pickup pattern is so wide, it captured some of the room ambiance, which works if you're filming an environmental portrait where you're showing the room. But it didn't work where I was filming a, let's say, studio portrait.
A military base is just like a city, just like Spartanburg, South Carolina. They have housing which our uniformed members and their family live in. A military base is just like a city, just like Spartanburg, South Carolina. They have housing which our uniformed members and their family live in.
So just a random lesson is that don't use a wider pickup pattern if you're trying to only isolate the voice and you're basically saying that the background doesn't matter. When the background does matter, when the environment does matter, use a wider pickup pattern. So anyways, I realized like, okay, well, I need a better interview microphone. I love the AT875R, but I just got that itch of like, oh, okay, I'm still in the process of upping my audio game. And so since I upped my on-camera mic, let's now translate that into a better interview mic. Testing the Audio-Technica AT875R versus our NTG5. NTG5 just came in the mail today, but I'm currently editing. So I wanted to make sure that I could roll this audio test in with the work that I have to get done because I got to get my work done. Mind focus. Where was I at? Yeah, so this has been my microphone, my interview microphone for the past 10 years. It's sensitive, it's quiet, and it sounds great. One downside to it is that it has a more emphasis on the top end. So people with sibilant voices, it struggles with people with sibilant voices. I mean, this AT875R is already a fantastic microphone. Like, if you don't have a microphone yet, I would start there. I'm also interested in testing out where does these things start to fall apart? Is it appropriate that I'm recording interior interviews with a short shotgun, or should I be using a hypercardioid capsule? So I'm just going to put these in terrible situations so that way I can determine if they start falling apart, if they start failing. That background hum that you're hearing, that is my air condition running through the house. Right now I'm inside of my kitchen. This is sort of the most echoey space inside of my house. We have this very flat surface here, flat hardwoods, flat tile behind me, flat ceiling above. There's not much clutter in this room that would dampen the sound and tone down the reflections, you know, aside from appliances and, you know, the Paw Patrol water bottle that's over there that would interfere with with the sound waves bouncing around and disperse them and diffuse them a bit, there's a lot of flat surfaces. So this is a very echoey room. As you can hear, we've got the Rode NTG5 with the SE7. From what I've read, cardioids are supposed to be a bit better within this environment because their design, the small diaphragm condenser design, makes them much more forgiving within a reverberant space. Whereas shotgun microphones, because of their interference tube, actually makes them less forgiving when they're inside of a reverberant space, because the reflections as they come back can create phasing issues with your voice. However, as I continue to do more research, what I'm realizing is that there's a kind of a significant difference between long shotgun microphones and short shotgun microphones, and that your short shotgun microphone is kind of like a jack of all trades, kind of like your workhorse microphone. It should be able to do what say a hypercardioid pencil condenser can do, as well as what a shotgun, like a true long shotgun microphone, should be able to do. It should be this like interesting middle ground where it can do one job good enough and do the other job good enough, but not be the absolute best at either. But if you were supposed to choose only one microphone, then your one microphone decision should be a short shotgun. Because if that's the case, then this is the only microphone that I need to bring on jobs, aside from very rare situations where I would need a cardioid pencil condenser microphone. All right, so now I'm sitting inside of the bathroom. This is like the kind of like guest bathroom. It's the bathroom that's like on my first floor. Specifically in here, because this is a completely echoey reverberant space. There really isn't much inside of this bathroom to deflect any sort of reflections. Everything's coming back inside of it. You've just got flat walls all over the place, and there's slick, flat walls with very little texture on them, and it's a very tight, enclosed space. Probably the worst absolute place to film inside my house, well, rather to record audio, but also film because it's really dark and I didn't want to bring up my camera, so I'm just using my phone, is inside of my basement stairwell. Up here I can hear like a lot of high frequency just sound waves just hanging in the air after I talk for at least a good like 1 to maybe 2 seconds afterwards. So if anything's going to really interfere with our interference tube, it's definitely going to be that thing. So I would never, like, just this is on par with the bathroom. I would never record anything inside of a bathroom, never record anything inside of any sort of interview inside of here, but I'm trying to stress test the thing to just really understand, like, at what point and what environment do we have to bring this thing into until it starts to actually fall apart and stops serving us well? Is it really that awful inside of an echoey interview space, or do you have to bring it into an extreme environment like this until it starts to fail you? Okay, so it's now been a month since I recorded my initial tests and the intro to this video. So I'm now coming back. I've brought the NTG5 on a few shoots, and after putting through its paces, I want to just kind of run you guys through what I've learned. Within a normal location that I would have input and say on as to, yes, let's interview here, okay? A short shotgun microphone, specifically the NTG5, just because that's what I've been reviewing, is an appropriate choice for interior interview, for recording that interviewee indoors. Where it really started to fall on its face and where it really started to just like deteriorate sound quality wise, when those phase issues started really making a difference, is when I brought it into extreme situations like the bathroom and the stairwell. And I would never record an interview in either of those locations anyway. So for me, that means that I'm safe, and I'm not making a bad choice if I go for a short shotgun to record an interview indoors. Especially when I was in the kitchen, the detail of the signal, right? The detail of the audio coming from this microphone didn't really degrade perceptively at all for me. I couldn't hear a lower quality. What I did hear is an increase in the bass response, and that has to deal with how shotguns are designed, the actual design of a shotgun microphone. Essentially, you'll see in a shotgun microphone, you'll see that when you look at the specifications, that it's going to say supercardioid or hypercardioid, and then it'll also say line low bar. Now, when you make a shotgun microphone, the manufacturers will place either a supercardioid or hypercardioid capsule in the microphone itself. What gives it that focused, narrow pickup pattern is the addition of this extension tube. Okay? Now, this is important because when you are recording sound, the extension tube focuses the higher frequencies. Basically, it affects the mids to high frequencies. It does not impact the lower frequency sounds. And so that's why when we're getting into more and more reverberant spaces, the bass response of the microphone is increasing and increasing and increasing, right? The bass tones are becoming more and more overwhelming. Was an inappropriate mic choice because that pickup pattern, shotgun microphones, because of their interference tube, actually makes them less forgiving when they're inside of a reverberant space. There really isn't much inside of this bathroom to deflect any sort of reflections. So what that just tells me is that when I'm in an environment where I'm in a more echoey environment, that I should know that I'm going to get a stronger bass response from this microphone, and therefore to use a high pass filter when I'm in that situation. Compared to the AT875R, you've got a much better low end response, and then the high end is a lot more controlled. So you're not getting those very harsh sibilant sounds with this microphone. So if you're looking for a great kind of like all-purpose microphone that'll do well in high humidity areas, that will do well with kind of protecting itself from radio frequency interference, then yeah, definitely get this. This is a really, really solid option. Very impressed with what I'm getting from this mic. As always, you can find me on Instagram at Storytelligent. Feel free to send me a DM there. We'd love to chat, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.